And believe it or not, I'm 24. I know I don't look it, I look like I'm about 12, but I'm honestly 24. I'm quite shocked because I also had a neuroblastoma when I was a baby, which is a rare form of cancer, and I've never met anybody else who had the same, so that's pretty enlightening for me today. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you about my journey, and firstly I'd like to say thank you very much for being here, for fundraising and for running the marathons that you all are for us. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, and I'm here to tell you why. Personally, my run with Whizz-Kidz started when I was 14. My dad heard about the charity through a friend, and so I applied for my first electric wheelchair. And on receiving my first power chair, I sent Whizz-Kidz a thank you letter saying thank you for the chair and describing the changes that it had brought about in my life. Seeing how my life had drastically transformed, I decided that I'd like to get more involved in the charity and the work that they do. And that's why I'm here in my ambassadorial role. Before I received my power chair, I'm not exaggerating, my life was dull, it was mundane, it was boring, I didn't go anywhere. Everything was a bit too predictable, and generally things were a nightmare at home for me. I couldn't even do basic tasks. I couldn't go and post a letter by myself, I couldn't get on a bus, I couldn't even pop down the shops and go and get a Snickers or a bottle of Coke. I had to go with my parents or with friends, and I just had no independence for myself. I had a manual wheelchair, which is how I used to get around before I had this wonderful gizmo. And take one look at me, I'm not strong enough to push myself around in a chair for days and hours and months on end, and I just used to get extremely tired and just used to stay at home. I didn't really see the point in going out. But those tiny day-to-day chores that a lot of you might see them as, like posting letters or going to get the groceries, they were dreams for me, and they were dreams that I wished would become a reality. And these wheels literally changed my whole life, and they changed the way that I saw my future. The significant increase in mobility has led to expanded opportunities and horizons. Above all, it's given me a new level of confidence, which has led to a more exciting, lively and fulfilling lifestyle. Put it this way, we all know Tom and Jerry, but you wouldn't watch just Tom on his own. You'd have to watch it with Tom and Jerry. And I'm not sure that Batman would be seen dead without his sidekick Robin. And like me, with the chair, wherever I go, the chair goes, and vice versa. Thanks. I'd like you all, if you don't mind, to cast your minds back to when you were teenagers. Everybody there? Great. Wonderful memories, I'm sure, for all of you. But being a 14-year-old is hard enough, and I'm sure you'll understand that having a disability makes it just that little bit harder. It's a time when your social life should boom, and nothing is more important than being free to go where you want, when you want. This is not something that I could take for granted. Before I got my Whizz-Kidz power chair, my life lacked that air of spontaneity that every child's life should have. Everything had to be planned, and nothing could be done on the spur of the moment. I wasn't free to make my own choices. I always had to be dictated to or guided. But one of the choices that I did make when I got my power chair 3 years ago was to go to university. Once upon a time, the thought of a huge campus, millions of people, and to be honest, I didn't choose the best university for access, but the cobbled ancient streets of Cambridge made me shake. Literally, I was so scared and I was so nervous. I didn't even think university would be a possibility for me, let alone a reality. But that was before my chair arrived. And a young disabled person can have all the potential and all the ambition in the world, but if they can't physically get from A to B, and if they can't be mobile, then they can't exercise that potential. But I've had the best time of my life. I've crashed into more lampposts than I can say. But what am I up to now? Well, 10 years after my first encounter with Whizz-Kidz, here I am, living in London, living on my own, and making my own choices. And one of those choices, again, is that I'm training to be a solicitor. I'm telling you this not because I want to give you a rundown of my CV and, give you my business card and tell you what I'm doing, but I'm telling you this because every day I wake up and I pinch myself. And I think, I can't believe that that I'm here and that I'm doing these things and that it's me that's doing them. The girl that was once struggling to post a letter is now delivering documents to the Royal Courts of Justice. It's madness. And why am I here? Well, solely because of Whizz-Kidz. They provide young disabled people with the right customised equipment, and they give us the right advice, support on training on how to make the most of our chairs and with our lives. Whizz-Kidz are with us every single step of the way, from the moment you receive your first trike, through university, and the first day that you start work, like me. You can't assign a value to independence and mobility. It's priceless. It really, really is. And I just wanted to thank you to you all, because your next steps as fundraisers and runners on our marathon will help a young child take their first. So thank you very much.